Hey guys, this is Ira Sutton here to electrify, and welcome to the very first installment of Ira Sutton's Cartoon Criticisms. In this first episode, I'm going to be talking about a Disney Junior series, one that debuted earlier this year, at the beginning of this year to be exact. Sofia the First. And I'm going to start off with the premiere episode, an hour-long pilot episode called Sofia the First, Once Upon a Princess. Now, for those of you who have never seen this series, let me bring you up to snuff. Sofia the First is all about this peasant girl who works with her mom, Miranda, in a shoe shop in her village. But then one day they are summoned by King Roland and to make a new pair of slippers for him. And while she's fitting him for his slippers, the two fall in love with each other, and then they get married. If they did it extremely quickly, I guess that's just standard, typical Disney romance there. But after that, after they get married, Miranda becomes a queen, and of course Sofia becomes a princess. Like the theme song says, she becomes a princess overnight. And so, basically, the rest of the series from then on, is about Sofia learning about the ways of being a princess, how to act, how to dress, how to behave, how to approach herself as a princess, adjusting to the new rules and standards of this new life that's been put in front of her. And, well, before I give my opinion on this premiere episode, I guess I should start off by saying, well, when I had first seen the previews for this show, when I first saw the previews for this show, I really didn't give it a look. I really didn't give it much thought. Because, it was about princesses, and I am a big fan of the Disney princesses. But it wasn't really about the Disney princesses in general. It was just about this no-name new character who's being a princess. And I was like, no, I don't want this. I want a Disney princess TV series starring the princesses. But then, I think it was like, I heard some mentions about the Disney princesses being in it, and, I don't know, maybe it was just like by accident, I caught an episode. I think maybe it was a marathon. Yeah, I think maybe it was a marathon of them. I caught a few episodes, like, I think maybe it was the one where she's trying out for the Flying Derby, but we'll get to that episode when we get to it. But when I saw that episode, I found it actually pretty interesting, pretty likable. I found it a pretty interesting series, and then I saw the other episodes, and I liked them as well. And yeah, I thought overall so far it was actually a pretty good series and one to check out now and again. So, with that being said, let me start off with the premiere episode, Once Upon a Princess. As you know, as I said before, this is basically the intro episode showing, Sofia's mother falling in love with the king, them falling in love with each other. They get married, and then Sofia becomes a princess. And, basically, this is just about Sofia entering a brand new world with new surroundings, new standards, new rules. And, well, as you would kind of expect from Sofia, it's not exactly something she immediately adjusts to. It's like, she used to be this peasant girl, living in a village, and then suddenly her mom marries this king, and now she's living in this big castle, wearing these fancy new dresses and crowns, these fancy toys, big rooms, servants, valets, This is just a whole new thing for her. It's just something she's not used to, and that's one of the things I guess that makes Sofia a good character. Sofia is a very, very good character. Or I do like her. You know, she's adorable. She's very adorable. She is clumsy at times, and well, just the way she reacts to this environment, you can totally relate to her. I mean, yeah, she's not used to this kind of thing. I mean, she was a peasant, and now she's a princess, and and as you can imagine, like imagine yourself, like you're a normal guy, like a low class or middle class, and then all of a sudden your parents get married to this like your mom or your dad gets married to this rich person, and then all of a sudden you move out of your house, you go to this big mansion. It's a big place, a lot more stuff, like butlers, big pools, like new standards and rules. It's something that you're not used to, and you have a hard time getting used to it. And that's the case with Sofia. It makes her very relatable. It makes her a very relatable princess, you know, even though she's not an official Disney princess. And yeah, that's one of the things I like about Sofia. And of course, let's see. Oh, and of course she meets a whole lot of new people, people like her new stepsister Amber, her stepsister James, of course her stepfather King Roland, the castle steward Bailiwick, the sorceress Cedric, whom she refers to as Cedric all the time. I mean, she just cannot pronounce his name right. And well, in terms of the other characters, that's another thing I like about the show, is because it has some really good characters in it. Some really nice characters in it. Let's start off with Amber. Well, she sort of starts off as the typical, you know, jealous stepsister. Before Sofia came along, she was the big star, the main attraction. Then Sophia comes in, she starts getting all this attention. Everybody starts paying more attention to her, and and well, she gets jealous about it. She doesn't like it, and you know, she starts getting happy when Sophia messes up and trips up, and you know, even tries to sabotage her at one point in this special. And you know, I actually kind of like the jealous expression she has, but you know, she has a redemption in the end, and she actually becomes a very good towards Sophia in later episodes, a very good sister towards her. And then of course, well, oh, and now there's James, who is an okay character. He's okay. He's not exactly my favorite character from the series. I mean, he's alright. There's not much on his personality, I guess. You know, he's a guy. He likes guy stuff, doesn't like girl stuff. You'll see that in the other episodes. Yeah, he's just okay. Just a generic guy, I would say. A generic guy. And then there are the other princesses she meets. You know, she goes to the school called Royal Prep, which is a school for princesses that learn about how to be a princess. It's also for princes too. She sees a lot of other princesses and princes who take an immediate liking to her, much to Amber's chagrin. But and yeah, so yeah, Sofia becomes instantly popular. Oh, and the teachers, by the way, the teachers of Royal Prep, the three main teachers are, get this, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather from Sleeping Beauty. The three good fairies. Yep, they're back. They are the main teachers and professors of Royal Prep. Right. And they play some interesting roles in this series. One episode we'll get to later on. Um, we'll get to them later. And let's see. As for the other characters, well, Bailiwick, the castle steward, I'm going to admit at first, for the first few episodes, I didn't take much thought to him. You know, he was the castle steward, just the guy who's supposed to make things happen, make sure everything's in order. Yeah, I really didn't think much of him, but there was one episode that really made me like him and make him one of my favorite characters. We will get to that when we get to it. And lastly, there's also lastly there's Cedric, the royal sorcerer. He's basically the antagonist of the series, and you know, he's trying to get Sofia's amulet, which is the amulet of Avalar. I think that's what it's called, or yeah, maybe that's what it's called. I'm not sure. But well, the amulet is an amulet that Sofia's father gives to him, and actually, when Cedric takes Sofia up to his sorcerer's lair, he tells her about the magic of the amulet. You know, where for every deed performed something first or something, a gift is granted, a blessing or a curse. Basically, for every deed that Sofia does, the amulet will give her a special power. And well, in the case of Sofia, she later on after this, she helps a baby bird get back into his nest with his mother, and the amulet in turn gives her the ability to talk to animals. And which is pretty okay, I guess. I mean, you know, you've seen the other Disney princesses talk to animals, but not like they talk back like humans. So that's something interesting. And well, Cedric, he wants Sophia's amulet so he can use its power to take over the kingdom. Yeah, like I said before, he's basically the antagonist of the series. And actually, I actually like Cedric because, well, basically, he is the antagonist, sort of, but there's more to him than that, and his relationship with Sofia I like, but like I said, I'll get to that in another episode, which is explained. I'll get to that later on. And you know, and well, another thing I have to talk about, well, as far as this series goes, is that unlike other Disney Junior shows or preschool shows that are aimed towards toddlers, for that matter, is that this show seems to have some attitude to it. You know, like, in certain shows directed towards toddlers, when a character does something mean or bad, and another character confronts them about it, they'll just, you know, like, gently scorn them. But they scorn them, not yell at them, not just be gentle about it. But this is kind of different. Because, well, for example, there's this scene where James confronts Amber about her giving these trick shoes to Sofia that embarrasses her in class, but he doesn't just, well, when he confronts her about it, he says that, you know, she's only doing this because everyone likes Sofia more than her. Well, you know what, I'm running out of time here, so I'll talk about this a little later in part 2.